It is said that wars are only won upon the anvil of honor.
Others believe victory requires strategy and a mastery of power.
War is deception. A game played best from the shadows. Only strength and raw power can assure total dominance.
But of course, you could forget all that and just have fun!
We're at BlizzCon. We're talking to Eric and Ben from the Hearthstone design team. I heard someone say earlier today that there's 1 million players in the Hearthstone beta. Have you guys been surprised at the amount of interest there is for this game?
Yeah, we have been blown away, and it's been awesome. It's been very exciting to see how much interest in. And actually, it was me who said that early, and we have sent invites to 1 million players to be in the Hearthstone beta. But it's exciting that so many people want to be in. But it kind of goes along with sort of our basic philosophy, which is Hearthstone is a game for everybody, and a lot of people, even people who don't necessarily think that they're going to be excited about collectible card games, still can be really excited about and clearly have been really excited about Hearthstone.
Right. Yeah, because we handed out a handful of keys on the site at one point, and for weeks afterwards, I had readers begging me, offering all sorts of crazy stuff to get another one, and I couldn't help them out because we had run out, we had given everything away. But that hasn't happened with any other game we've given away beta keys for, I think.
That is awesome.
Very exciting.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I think lots of people are excited about the idea of being able to play a collectible card game with sort of the Blizzard flavor and the Blizzard polish, and knowing that they're going to be able to easily know exactly what's going on.
Right. There was the big beta update a few weeks ago, or a month ago maybe, that wiped all previous progress and then switched up the classes and did a bunch of changes. How do you guys feel about where the metagame is at right now and the balance? Because I know some people have been feeling like the priest may be overpowered and stuff like that.
Yeah, actually the balance is, we're actually really very happy with. One of the things that's tricky about balancing a game like this is you will see different classes become prevalent at sort of different bands of skill levels. So you'll see, like, for instance, the Hunter is actually a pretty strong class if you're looking at relatively newer players, but once you get to the sort of higher tiers, it's pretty balanced out. So that's been one of our challenges, is making sure that we can have this balance that, you know, works for lower level players and mid-level players and our very best players in Arena as well. That being said, actually, when we are looking at the numbers internally, it's actually looking very strong as far as the balance, but the metagame is still shifting, so it wouldn't surprise me at all if some class or some combo came out of nowhere and we went, wow, that's really powerful, but it's actually pretty good right now.
At the presentation earlier today, you introduced golden player characters, as well as, because previously you had golden cards that were special and animated. Now you have the same thing for characters. And we saw the Elite Tauren Chieftain card that pretty much went overboard when it came online or on the table. Is this game a sort of chance for the artist guys to just go nuts and do whatever you want, almost?
I mean, we certainly try to take every possible advantage we can of the digital space, right? And that's what the digital space gives us, is this opportunity to do things that physical games really will never get to. So the idea of Ragnaros the Fire Lord hitting the board and just fire and rock and tumbling everywhere feels awesome. When you're playing him, you feel great for having played that card. Likewise, to do things like lightning, storm coming down and hitting an entire side of the board and dealing damage to characters feels great to cast that spell. So before the players are relying on their imagination, we're giving them a little bit of a boost with the digital space by being able to show these things. Elite Tauren Chieftain is overboard. I mean, that's the whole point of Elite Tauren Chieftain. So we really tried to take that to 11 and really dial it into something that felt really, really awesome.
Right. I heard some talk about something called adventures in the game.
Absolutely.
But I only heard the title or the name, and I assume some of the viewers are feeling the same way. So can you explain to us exactly what are adventures in Hearthstone?
So adventures are going to be our way of getting a smaller group of cards out into play without it being like this full expansion. The idea is basically that There will be a single-player mission or a group of small single-player missions, sort of PvE style, that you can play against. And as you play against that mission in various ways, you earn the cards that are associated with that mission. So an adventure will come out, you know, it might have 20 or 30 cards. It's not going to have like a new mechanic you've never heard of, but it's going to have cards and mechanics that are you have seen before, but are going to affect the metagame in pretty interesting ways. So it's sort of our way of saying, we want new cards out there. We want the metagame to shift. We want to be able to respond to things that are happening in the metagame, and we want to keep making the game interesting, but we don't want to overwhelm you with, hey, here's a bunch of new mechanics if you're a player that, you know, you're sort of like just cruising through the content, and you might be overwhelmed if we said, hey, here's 4 new mechanics you've never heard of. So it's our way of increasing the card set and increasing the interest at the game, especially at the high level, without this overwhelming, whoa, what are you doing?
Is that something that'll be part of the beta, or is that
that is definitely future. That's definitely 2014. Really, we are entirely focused on just getting to open beta and getting the game in everybody's hands and getting the iPad version of the game out. I wanted to talk about that because, you know, BlizzCon only comes once a year, and I want to make sure that people knew our philosophies going forward. Right. And so that's, of course, why we're not talking about specific adventures. It's more, here's the kind of thing that you can expect once we get the game out and into everybody's hands and get that iPad out there and all that.
So does that mean that you guys are just sitting around waiting right now, or do you sort of know where you want to go with this stuff?
Yeah, we're sitting around doing nothing right now. We're just, I mean, we have a lot of great ideas, and there are a lot of great ideas to be had, even among the team. We're hearing a lot of great ideas from the community. Part of that is us looking to the community for where they want to take this game, because the idea of the game being a game for everyone, part of that is us being very close-knit with the community and finding out what kind of game do they want it to be. So that's extended to a lot of different avenues. Adventures is going to ascribe to some of that, but then in addition to that, different kind of play styles are going to start to bubble to the surface. And as soon as we start to hear what some of those things are, we can't wait to tackle them and see what we come up with.
Speaking of the iPad version, earlier today, Android version was announced.
Yep.
I'm thinking, what took you guys so long to decide to do Android as well?
I don't know if it was taking us so long to do it. It's that we're a small team. We're a 15-person team, and we've been very focused in getting the game out, and we're like, okay, I think we can add iPad onto it as well, and we certainly heard the overwhelming, hey, we really want to have Android out there. But that being said, we only have limited things that we could tackle, so it took us a while to put together, you know, the people to start rolling in that direction. So we actually have a small mobile group that is now sort of associated with the Hearthstone team. And actually, when I say we have 15 developers, because of that small group, we're actually closer to 20 at this point. So a lot of it had to do with that. And I guess actually a lot of it had to do with us taking this game that at first we thought, hey, this is going to be a small, fun little game, and going, wait a minute, there's a lot of interest in this game. This game might be bigger than that, and all of these people are excited about these other ways of playing, so we better start rolling with what the community wants. But a lot of it is calling to what Ben was talking about, in that we're going to be very responsive to the community. The community's excited about Android. We're making Android because that's what we want to do going forward. And in the future, will it be, you know, esports in some sort of observer mode, or will it be more single-player content, more in that direction, or we don't really know for sure, but we're very quickly learning as the beta rolls along what people are excited about.
So I guess that also explains the time frame for the Android version and the iPhone version, because those are still quite a bit off.
Yeah, they're quite a bit off, and especially when you start to talk at something with a smaller screen size, there's a real amount of work that's involved in taking something like Hearthstone and making it really playable and fun within the UI on a small screen. So it's going to be pretty time consuming, I think, but we're definitely working on it, and we're super excited about it.
I guess that's a challenge for the artist team as well, getting something that's decodable on the small screen.
We got it looking good on the big screen. We took that over to iPad, and we're very happy with where it ended up there. We're always up for challenges. So, you know, putting it on a smaller screen, if it means getting more people playing the game who are interested in the game, that's ultimately the goal, right? So art's there to make it happen. So.
Last thing, I heard some mentioning of changes to how ranked is going to work. Can you explain those?
So when we were looking at how ranked play currently works in Hearthstone, there were a couple of things that we weren't entirely happy with. And one of them is, as you progressed through ranked play, you really had no idea what you needed to do to advance or whatever. It was a pretty opaque system. And we felt it was pretty important to expose that. And in addition to that, for players at the very highest level of play, which is currently 3-star Master, you got there and there was sort of no way of comparing yourself with other players to, you know, prove I'm the best, I'm awesome at this game. And that was pretty important to us as well. And lastly, we wanted to make sure there was things you got for playing ranked play. And so that's why our new ranked play system has a very simple advancement and falling system. It's, if I win a game, I get a star. If I lose a game, I lose a star. Once I get enough stars, I advance to the next rank. And, you know, there's a few caveats in there in that the bottom couple of ranks, you're not going to lose stars for losing, you know, stuff like that. So that's how we address the clarity issue. For the who's the best at the very top issue, we have this new legendary mode, legendary. And at that level, once you get to that level, it sort of goes into an MMR system where I actually will know I'm the 347th best player in Europe or something like that. So the players actually can compete and fight against each other to try to be the very best, the very top player. And then as rewards for players engaging in this mode, not only are we giving golden heroes once you played or won enough games with a specific hero, but also we have these card backs. And so if you participate in a season of ranked play, you know, you win a few games in that season, still working on the numbers, you are going to get this special card back that is unique to that season. So the only way to display that card back on your cards is going to be having participated in that specific season. So each additional season will have new card backs, and I know Ben Thompson is very excited about making all of those card backs but they're awesome. The ones he has already are fantastic.
Very last thing, open beta is right around the corner, but just for those who didn't hear the announcement, when?
So we are working very hard on getting it out as soon as possible. And as you might have guessed, I mean, we're Blizzard Entertainment. Right. Even with a fast and nimble team, we're not always quite as quick as we'd like to be. That being said, I think that the plan is late this year. But certainly, as Rob said, Blizzard late this year could be early next year.
Eric and Benjamin, thanks for talking to us.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
Hearthstone, Heroes of Warcraft.